Good. Hello, people. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody is doing good today. Give me just a minute, as usual, to post over Facebook so that we have more people joining us. Hi, thanks for joining. How are you doing, Deirdre? Sorry, I always feel like I mispronounce your name. I'm sorry about that. Um, this was the last one. Facebook. There it is. Share in a group. This is going as well. Good. So, hello, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm almost ready. Up, up. Deirdre is probably close. All right. Thank you. um, good. So I have this. To close the door so we don't have outside noise. Up. Good. 7 people already. Great. Hi, everyone. A little dark here. Up. Should be a little brighter. A little bit. Good. Thanks for joining. So welcome to another rendition of the Taiji Qigong Shibashi set 2. Hi Beth, welcome. Today we're gonna look at the lion cub play with the ball, moving around. Beautiful movement, very fun to do, although a little bit tricky to catch at first. So we'll have to work gently our way through it so we can get the whole movement. And here is good. Feet is missing a little bit, so let me try to readjust that. tiny bit. There we go. There I should have a little better angle up here. Cool. Yes, that should be better. So the lion cub playing with the ball. Before we start, as usual, I'm not there to watch you. You're the one watching me. So you are responsible of your own movement, your own limits. You're allowed to make a stop during the class, sit down, take a break, drink some water, move around. You don't need to do as many repetitions as I do as I'm teaching, as I'm guiding you. If you're able to, great, just follow along. Always respect your own limits. And that being said, let's get moving. So, in today's movement, we'll have a lateral stepping coming from one side to the other. There'll be a slight adjustment of the feet. We'll go over that a little bit later. Um, the main aspect here, let me see if I can get my feet clear for everyone to see. So feet are parallel and they'll be moving from side to side. First step that we'll do is to bring our big toe close to the center of our foot, so the center between front and back. For those who know acupuncture, we're placing the big toe right next to Yongchen. And we want to have that feeling that the toe is kind of drilling or digging into the ground to have solidity in it. My support leg, which is the other one, is extended, not completely locked at the knee, but as straight and extending as possible to feel the raising of the chi going all the way up. And then when we'll take a step, we'll come to the side, drop the heel, and we'll let the toe more or less 45-degree as we start to shift our weight. As we shift the weight, we want to make sure that the knee follow the direction of the toes and that the hips also remain in the same direction. So here, as I start, I'm facing forward, bringing my foot to the side, and then on the same line, moving my foot laterally and not moving the foot in diagonal, but moving it laterally and pointing my toes diagonally. When I shift my weight, my knee stays in line, my hips also remain in line. And then gradually, as I come and sit, my back foot will slide just a little bit to adjust so that both of my feet are in the same direction, which will allow my hips to be a bit more relaxed. And from here, later on, I'll have a rotation from the waist. So coming back here, facing forward, bringing my foot so that my big toe touches the ground, dropping the heel, toe pointing 45 in that direction. So guiding, following the knee. And here on my back leg, I'll let my foot rotate just so I can be comfortable with my hips, knee, and foot all in the same direction. And then later on, we'll add the rotation of the waist so that my upper torso is on the 90-degree. So from here, facing the camera, my torso will be at 90, but my hips and feet will be at 45, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Bringing my foot, which brings me to sit on my supportive leg and being facing forward, taking a step with the heel, gliding my knee in the direction of the toes, adjusting my back foot, hips, and then upper torso rotating through the waist after so that my torso is a little more on the side. Coming to the center, big toe touching the ground next to the center of my foot, dropping the heel, shifting the weight as my foot open 45, and as my weight shift, naturally my back foot is now free and can adjust and rotate with my hips, and then the upper body will turn. Let's do that a few times, and we'll start to add the breathing so that you guys have the rhythm of how the step happens, and then the upper body will follow along a lot easier. So as I'm bringing my foot touching the toe to the ground, I'm inhaling. As I'm stepping out and shifting the weight, I'm exhaling all the way here. Inhale, straight forward, elongation towards the sky. Step out, transfer the weight as I'm exhaling, adjusting the hip, adjusting the waist so that my shoulders look out. Inhale, step out, transfer, exhale. Inhale, step out, exhale. Inhale, step out, exhale. Inhale, step, exhale. Inhale. We'll do it one more each side. Exhale. Inhale. Step, exhale. Up. And coming back to the center. So the adjustment of the back foot, there's two options on how you can rotate on your empty leg, and that will depend a little bit on how wide of a stance you're taking. And that goes from how the anatomy function on the body. So if I'm rotating on my heel, then my upper torso is not going to change, or my relationship with my torso and my leg is not going to change because I have a straight line from my hip, my bone of my legs, all the way down to my heel. So when I'm moving around, I'm more rotating my foot or my toes around the center of my leg. But if I'm rotating from the ball of the foot, then it's my heel that's rotating around the ball of the foot. Therefore, my hip, or the line from my bones of the leg through the back, will change, and therefore the relationship here, if my heel is closer to me, my leg is straight all the way down. But if I rotate on the ball and I bring my heel down, then my leg is diagonal towards the back. So when I'm rotating on the ball of my foot, that will change the positioning of my hips and my legs. Whereas if I'm rotating on my heel, it's only my toes that are adjusting, and the relationship between my hip, legs, all the way to my heel remains the same because I'm rotating around them, around the center that goes through it. So how do we use this when we do the movement? That depends on how wide of a step you're going to take. So if you take a fairly short step and you feel you're a little close or tight in your stepping, then rotating around the ball of the foot will allow you to have a bit of a deeper, longer stance with your back leg. Whereas if I'm here and my heel is closed, then my feet, my legs are closer together. And then if I rotate on the ball of my foot, stretching my heel back, then you can notice how that creates a much longer, wider stance. On the opposite, if I'm taking a step and I find that it's a little far and that my back leg is already a bit stretched, if I was to try to rotate on the ball of my foot, I would end up being very low and a very steep angle, which is not comfortable. So in this case, I would rotate on the heel, bringing my toe closer, but not changing the space and the harmony that I have between my hips and leg. So again, if I'm starting from here, taking a wider step, then here the natural adjustment would be just to rotate from the heel so that I maintain the harmony between my legs for the stance. Um, my personal habit preference when I'm doing these movements, I usually have a bit of a smaller step and then I rotate on the ball of the foot to get the right stepping for me. That's just how I've been practicing it and doing it. So you'll have to see with yourself if it's easier to take a smaller step and rotating on the ball of your foot so that you can have the right spacing between your legs, or if you feel that you have a tendency to take a very wide step, then you'll probably need to rotate on the heel to maintain the same space between your legs from the get-go. Good. Any question on this? I'll give you guys a minute to write them down. Let me know. I might be a bit tricky. That understanding come more from a martial art background, so if it's not clear, let me know and I'll try to simplify it. And if not, then hopefully you guys can play a little bit with that stepping and figure out the right space for your feet. All right, so let's keep going. And if you have questions, write them down and I'll see them a little bit later. So, bringing the big toe on touching the ground next to Yongchen, inhaling as we take our step and allow the chi to rise through the body, filling us up. Taking the step to the side, exhaling as we transfer the weight, shifting, bringing the hips in the same direction as the toes, and rotating the waist in the end just so that our shoulders are facing the other way. Inhaling, bringing the foot, the big toe to the ground. Taking a step, exhale as we transfer onto the other side, rotating and sitting down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Shifting 100% of your weight, so my back foot is empty. Here up, that's why when I start my inhale, I can easily bring my leg without having to shift weight in any way. Taking my step, this is when I do my full weight shift. And so from here, when I start my inhale, I just need to sit on my supportive leg and then go up as I'm inhaling and bring the chi through. Taking a step, exhale, and out. One more, inhale, step, exhale, and one more to the other side, inhale, step, exhale. From here, we're going to start to add the movement with the arms. As we bring our foot, our hands is going to gently bring it under. The other hand will gather the ball and will place the palm on top of each other as we inhale. Gathering the chi and just coming back to the center. So we'll do this again. Opening my right foot to 45. Inhale as I roll and grab a ball of chi. Up, feel it between my hands, and gently exhale, coming back to the center. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale. My upper hand is about shoulder height, not in the center, but really above my supporting leg. The lower hand is about halfway between pubic bone and belly button, more or less, over the hip, so in front of the quad, not in the center, so that the two lao gong, the 2 points from the center of the palm, can face each other. And in this particular position, you'll start to feel once the chi start to gather that the palm opens up and it really feels like you're holding a big giant balloon or basketball or something, big round ball. The roundness of it, feel the connection between the two. So if I'm sideways, my hands are close to my body. I don't want them to be out here. As I'm gathering and bringing the ball together, I want to feel that connection and feeling that the source at the bottom of the well, the kidney 1 point junction, align nicely with the shoulder well, gallbladder 21, and the whole space between the trapezius and the collarbone and shoulder and the neck, so that I have this nice rising connection from the ground up, connecting to the sky and gathering the surplus of chi between my palm and down. So we'll do it now on the other side as well. Up, opening the left foot, gathering the ball between the palm, bringing them to the side, feeling with the inhale the gathering of the chi between the palm, and then as we step, exhale, dropping it down. Connecting the feet to the ground, inhale, bring it up, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. One more each side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Continuing. Inhale. Gather the chi. This time we'll take a step and we'll shift the weight onto our leg, allowing our hands to rotate the ball and bring it up to the sky. Coming back, I inhale, I gather the chi. Bringing the ball, feeling the rising through the leg, through the torso, and the gathering between my palm. Taking a step, exhale as I shift my weight onto the other side, rotating the ball up, rotating the waist, and pushing up. Inhale, gather. Taking a step, exhale, rotating and pushing out. Inhale, step, exhale, rotate, and out. Inhale, step, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more each side. And coming back to the center. Good. Yes. So let's do it the other way around so you guys can follow a little bit on the side. So first, gathering on my right side, my left hand, bring my left foot together so it's under, my right hand is above. As I step with my left, shifting my weight towards the left, I'm rolling the ball, the hand that's below go up, and the hand that was up pushes in the middle. Coming back to the center, right hand, right foot comes together and are under. Stepping out with the right, my right hand goes up while the left push. Inhale, gather left leg, left hand. Take a step, roll the ball, left hands go up, right hand push. Inhale, gather with the right. Exhale, right hand go up. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So, few tricks to remember how to move. When my hands and my leg move together. So as I gather here to bring the chi down, I'm scooping more or less my hand with my foot, gathering the chi to make it rise. So my big toe touches the ground as I'm raising the chi. And then as I step out, the direction I'm stepping out, my hands come over. So all my weight is here, my arm is open, arm is nice and strong, and then I just push gently here. As I come back front, I bring my hand and my foot together, gathering in between, and as I step, same side again, go up and out. Open, gather the leg and the lower hand together, take a step, up and above. Again, gathering together, take a step and above. Good. Any question on that aspect? It's a type of movement that the more we try to think about it, the more likely we're gonna screw it up. But if we allow the movement to guide us, so I'm not thinking about moving my arm, but as I'm stepping and rotating, oh, naturally this kind of motion becomes very natural. The other one being here, if I'm pushing forward, I naturally have this motion of, oh, push here. As I'm opening up, leg and arm together feels natural as well. They just gather. As I step, woo, rolling the ball up, it just feels very natural once we get the hang of the movement, feeling how the expression of the movement come from the core and express itself one way or the other, to use it with the breath. So let's play a little bit with it a little more through the breath and feeling how the expansion and the rotation and how all of it kind of fit together nicely and simply. So first, feet together, arm on each side, and then gently breathing. So bring your awareness on the lower abdomen. Feeling abdominal breathing at first. Then after a few breaths, adding thoracic breathing. And upper thoracic all the way on top to the head. And exhaling, relaxing. As I'm inhaling, I'm starting to gather the chi with the lower dantian. So inhale, filling up the lower dantian first, then the thoracic area, which help to support the arms, feel how the chest is full, and then the upper thoracic and the head connecting to the sky. And letting our arms come back down to the center. We'll repeat this step a few times. Inhale, lower abdomen, thoracic, upper, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In, out. Same thing, but on supporting on the other leg. In, out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale over the right leg. Take a step, transfer the weight, exhaling, shifting the hip, shifting the waist, allowing the arms to rise gently. Up, gathering, inhale, abdominal, thoracic, upper thoracic. Step, exhale, rotating the palm and out. Inhale, gather. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. How are you guys doing? Any questions on this part so far? Let's see. Let me grab my water. So far, so good for everyone? All right. Ooh, I notice I'm slightly unbalanced with my cordons here. Good. So very simple, gentle, easy to follow and to flow with it. Um, the more we dive deeper into the feeling and the interconnectivity with how the breath expand itself and express itself all the way through to the extremities, the easier it becomes to kind of play along, follow, and feel how the breath can guide the expression of the movements. Um, when we talk about Qigong, we want to have three main elements combining together to make one exercise. These three elements are the proper physical structure, and that's really mean more a question of relaxation and structural alignment. So we use the minimum amount of effort to be in whichever movement or posture we're choosing to be in. There exist many variation of different movement from different style of Tai Chi, of martial arts, of Qigong, which are kind of the same family and are expressed a bit differently. It doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than the other. Sometimes a slight difference in hand position will make a difference in how the chi circulates in the body. So for those who are teacher, it's important to understand how your structure affect the movement of chi in order to know what it is that you're doing. That's not quite as important when you're still more of a beginner intermediate student, as you're simply following along and starting to feel how that develop through your body and those sensation affect. And so the physical structure needs to be very relaxed, and feel how everything can be effortless. The breathing combined with the movement gives us kind of an internal engine that really moves and creates pressure and emptiness so that the air can come into the lungs, so that the fluids in the blood can move between the lower and the upper body. And so the engine of the breath creates that movement and should go in harmony with your movement, at least at a certain phase, in order to feel how the muscles and the whole system associated with breathing express itself and create a ripple that will influence how you express your physical movement. And then you have the mind, which in itself should be in a meditative state. In Taiji in Taiji Qigong Shibashi, we have two different ways that we can achieve this. One way is to use the image that's associated often with the name of each movement. In this case, it's the lion cub playing with the ball. So we imagine being a big fluffy baby lion. We have this little ball that we can play with, that we can throw out, that we run, we grab, we toss it around. So it's that very joyfulness of a cub of, we said lion can be of any species, playing around with a ball, running, jumping, and being very happy. So it brings us into that quiet, joyful state as we're playing around with that ball and this sensation. The other aspect, and using a type of images like this makes it easier for the mind to be focused on one task and not be distracted by many others. It's kind of an entry point into a meditative state. The other way that we can do it once we've developed a little bit more our meditative skill is to quiet the mind and simply observe how the chi is moving through the body as we're doing the movement, to observe how our body is opening, expanding, condensing, bringing it back, and observe all the different sensation that the movement can create. So as we develop the ability to enter a state of tranquility, then that tranquility become a mirror reflecting everything that's going on within the body as we're doing the movement and we observe it. Um, Often breath and chi are kind of presented together. I personally like to separate them, so I would add the sensation of chi as an other category that grows and develop, because although at first the movement of chi is tied with the breathing, later on you should be able to dissociate the breath and the movement of chi. Most of the time within Taiji Qigong Shibashi, we'll use the breath to create a certain kind of movement of qi. Inhale being that the qi has a tendency to rise. Exhale, the qi has more of a tendency to sink. Inhale when we pull the qi in towards our body. Exhale when we allow it to expand outward. Or inhale as we move towards the left. Exhale as we move it towards the right. These elements are good in order to learn to start to be more connected with our body and feel how the breath and the movement can influence the chi. But later on, you should be able to move very quickly or very slowly and have your chi independent from your breath and your movement. So I would say this is kind of the four main category, although I mentioned typical three, which are body, breath, and mind, and then the aspect of the chi, which develop through this harmony and then end up being something of its own later on as we practice. Saw that a few people wrote things. Let me have a quick. Really works the shuttle. Yeah, that's one of the classical name for the form in Tai Chi. Good. Excellent. Um, let's see. Let's look at a structural component of how we want our arm to be open and circulating. I believe I explained a little bit about that theory in the previous video, but there's a notion of roundness and openness within the arm that gives the tensegrity, the structure of the arm, much more solidity. So as we'll come here and open up, if our arms is a little too close, and especially here, let's get into the position and we'll play from there. Inhale, gathering the ball. Exhale, stepping, rounding it out, and here. So if my upper arm is a little too bent, if my elbow is about 90-degree, so if I do it this way, up, if my elbow is about 90-degree, then it's fairly easy, even with just the pressure of my lower hand and finger, to kind of move my arm around from the elbow. But if my arm is a little bit more open, then the whole structure becomes a lot more solid. And then I can see if my shoulder is up, then it's not my elbow that's giving, but it's the shoulder that's not quite in the right position. So allowing the shoulder blade to sink, to pull the arm into the shoulder, opening a little bit more that stretch, making it a lot more solid for any push. Then just this is already a good start for you to have an idea if the position of your arm is good and solid. If it's too weak, then it's gonna very easily fall down. If your shoulder is blocked, you'll notice how the arm is moving up and down through the shoulder. So relaxing the shoulder blade, having that openness, then you can have a lot more solidity with all the pressure that you can put through from the other arm. If you had a training partner, you could have them place both of their hands on your forearm and kind of push and put a little more pressure gradually through you, and then feel where you hold tension in your torso, if it's in the lower back, for example, here, if the lower back is bent and somebody really start to push and put a lot of pressure, then you'll start to feel that there's tension here that starts to affect your structure. So you want the lower back to be a bit more relaxed, open, feel the connectivity going all the way down through the back foot, and feel that the more pressure they place on your forearm, the more pressure you feel down towards your feet, and you feel that they're kind of grounding you the more they push on you. If you do this with a partner, never do it with a quick jerking motion. Always ask them to just put gradual pressure and increase it bit by bit. This is not a martial art drill. It's a drill just to start to feel where you hold tension in your body and to be able to slowly adjust your structure so that you can let that pressure pass through. So the partner should never put hard and fast motion. You just want them to put gradual pressure more and more. And when you feel the tension somewhere in your body, you ask them to stop and maintain the pressure softly and try to adjust and see if you can find it and let it pass through. And then once you feel confident, they can either add some more or release and gradually play like this so you can feel where you hold tension in your body. As we're here in this posture, we should be able to receive quite a lot of push down through our body and be able to have a nice alignment all the way down through the back leg, being very relaxed and not feel any tension. So as my partner would be putting some pressure on my forearm, I'm not either trying to push against, I'm actually trying to be as relaxed and calm as possible while this pressure is being redirected through my structure. So it's an interesting way to play and see if you're able from here to go and have a nice structural alignment that guide the push through you very easily. And then as you open, gather the ball. Here you could also play a little bit. The arms are a little closer. We don't have that same roundness, openness here because we want to gather the chi between the palm, but there's still a bit of an opening of a roundness that comes through it that should express itself through the shoulder. And if you had somebody coming and placing their hands on your shoulder on the side, they should be able to put a certain amount of pressure and you should be able to redirect it through your structure down through your feet into the ground and be able to maintain this position without being moved around too easily. So yeah, interesting way to play to give yourself a little bit more challenge, give yourself a little bit more support and external perspective to see if your structure is as relaxed as you think. Because as soon as we have a bit of tension, then it will show up when we receive a bit of a push. Gentle. Good. See, somebody else wrote something. Right. You're welcome. My pleasure. And so I guess we'll close the session for today. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this session. If you have any question, feel free to write them down in the comments or on the Facebook page, qigong18.com. And yeah, if you want to have more personalized adjustment and training, you can contact me for one-on-one Skype lesson. It will be a pleasure to guide you through it and help you discover a little quicker the areas that are a little blocked and open them up faster in your body so that you have better results with your Qigong training. I wish you guys a beautiful day, and I'll see you Wednesday, same time for another session so that we keep going in our development of set 2. Thank you guys. Have a great day. How to keep the chi inside. That's a bit of a long topic, so I'll see. Write me a message on Facebook and we can see, because there could be a lot of elements. The chi is inside, it's circulating, so it's a question that requires more explanation. All right. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.